What is up there, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, if you haven't already, be sure you hit the subscription button down there and hit the little bell to stay notified on more videos on finance, entrepreneurship, stocks, anything like that. And let's dive right into it today. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to discuss on what are mutual funds. Now, a mutual fund is a collection of stocks, bonds, or other securities. Now, when you buy a mutual fund, you own a share of the mutual fund at the same time. Now, the price of each mutual fund share is called its NAV, or net asset value for better term. That's the total value of all the securities it owns divided by the number of shares. That's the total value of all the securities it owns divided by the number of the mutual fund shares. Now, mutual funds are traded continuously, just like a stock would, but their prices adjust at the end of each business day compared to stocks, whereas when you sell it, you'll get the price right then and there. And with mutual funds, you usually have to wait till the end of the day to actually wait for the price to settle in. Now, why would a person choose mutual funds over stocks, you might ask? Now, one of the main reasons you want to invest into mutual funds instead of stocks is mainly simply because maybe you don't have the time, or you just don't want to go over a single stock's financial sheets or anything like that, because with the mutual fund is basically a bracket of different companies, and so it gives you more of a diversity also. Now, the main reason to really invest into mutual funds over stocks is simply because maybe you don't have the time, or you just don't want to research the company's, balance sheets or anything like that. You just simply want to put your money into something without having to worry about going over its records or anything like that, its debt, or just, all that different type of stuff. So mutual funds are definitely a great way to start off with investing if you just don't have the time or knowledge at the moment to really fully invest into regular stock. Now, another great reason to choose mutual funds over stocks is because they basically give you diversification, meaning that they carry less risk than an actual stock because it's a bracket of different companies at the same time. And for that reason alone, mutual funds provide basically many of the benefits that you would with the stock without all that same risk at the same time. So that's something you might want to take into consideration if you're thinking mutual funds over stocks, or if you want to do both, then you can also. It just really depends all on you. Now, there's two different types of funds we're going to discuss right here. There's actively managed funds or exchange traded funds. So when it comes to mutual funds, they're going to be either or, okay? Now, when it comes to actively managed funds, you're usually going to have a manager who will decide which securities to buy and or sell for you. And they usually have a goal that guides the manager's investment decisions. So depending on how his research goes and everything, that's what he's going to be able to provide for your investment alone. And these managers will definitely seek to outperform any index out there. So best believe when you're paying these guys with their fees or whatever, they're going to make sure they get the most out of your dollar. So that's probably one good benefit of having an actively managed fund right here, is that you don't have to worry about doing the research yourself, because to simply research every single fund out there, it's just going to be way too much. So it's usually better sometimes to get a manager to do it for you. Now, because they're going to choose the best for you, usually their fees are going to be a lot higher also at the same time. So not only will they have to outperform the index, they're also going to have to make sure they outperform their fees plus the index in order to give you the best out of your money for it at the same time. Now, when it comes to exchange traded funds, they usually match an index. And since they don't need much trading, their costs are usually lower at the same time. And as a result of these low fees, these funds have become really popular since the 2008 financial crisis. So that's really two of the main differences between these two type of funds. Now, let's get into some of the pros of a mutual fund, why you would choose some of these over ETFs or stocks or whatever. Now, I already said this before, but number one, they have less risk. Again, you're not researching just one company when it comes to mutual funds. When it comes to mutual funds, you're basically buying a bracket of companies, so it's going to give you less risk because you're diversifying with these mutual funds. So if one company goes bankrupt or whatever, that's not going to affect your mutual fund at all, because it's so diversified that it's barely even going to phase it at all. So for those of you who are, I guess, less risk tolerance, choosing a mutual fund might be a great way for you to go about, simply because you might be less risk tolerant at the same time. Now, a pro of an actively managed fund, which would be a pro on this list, is again, you're paying someone to basically pick out these things for you. You don't have to waste your time or whatever a whole day into researching these things, determining which one's best for you or whatever. So instead you hire someone else, they'll do it for you. And again, they're really going to pick the best ones that they feel are going to be great for your money. So that's another great thing, because now you don't have to waste your time again. So that's another thing to consider. And you best believe that these managers are experts in each field. So again, you're going to be getting the best out of your money. Now, some of the cons of mutual funds at the same time though is when it comes to these managers that you get, they usually continuously change. Meaning when you sign up for one, you probably have one manager, but maybe weeks or months down the road, you're going to have a brand new one instead. And this might affect your pickings or whatever, because whatever the first one decided for you, the next one who steps in charge, they might pick something different that I think is best suitable for you. So they might change a few things here and there. And I mean, it could go up or down depending on how they really choose. So essentially, you really don't even know what you're putting your money into, because if they're continuously changing, that means you're just putting your money and you're just kind of throwing it in there, you know. You don't know what you're researching, so it's best to ask them, you know, why they're picking this or why they chose that. So be sure to ask plenty of questions when you're hiring these managers to handle your money for you. Now, another con of mutual funds is that they charge an annual management fee. So on top of some fees that these managers are going to charge you, there's also an annual fee on top of that you have to pay. And I mean, it might not be too much, but if you're not putting too much money into it either, it's basically going to be eating into your earnings at the same time. So be sure when you go into these mutual funds that you're putting plenty of money to cover those fees. And really, with just some of the fees, some of them are going to be really hidden. So again, make sure you ask what you're paying for, what's in there, and just all that stuff, okay? And to wrap it up, who are mutual funds for? And really, mutual funds are really for anybody. If you just want something to diversify a little bit more on top of your regular investments or whatever, then mutual funds are definitely a great way to go about too. Have something on the side that might be different than just your ordinary individual stocks. And I highly recommend these to people who have low risk tolerance, because when you're picking one stock, if you're putting all your money into it, you know, diving in, then you're going to be risking your money just off of that one stock. Whereas a mutual fund, you have a diversification of different companies. So it gives you a better peace of mind with your money, knowing that if one company goes down, you have plenty others to back it up. And like I mentioned one more time, if you just don't simply have the time to research stocks or whatever, then I would definitely suggest one of these. But again, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure you know what you're doing. And I hope this video clarified some confusion on mutual funds a little bit. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, guys, just hit the subscription button down there. And if you're new to this channel, be sure you hit the notification bell also. And just stay tuned for more videos coming along, guys. That'll wrap it up for today. And I'll see you guys in the next video.